Um, we are going to talk a little bit about vocab. And I want to just go through how I want you to study vocab. I was just now reading through all those little things you wrote for me on the Nearpod. By the way, if you haven't done that yet, you should still do it because I'm going to give you a few points for doing that. That was the assignment on Monday was a Nearpod just to tell me a little bit of stuff about you, including what you can do better this year with this semester. And more than a few people mentioned just like trying to like learn your vocab better. So pay attention because I'm going to give you my suggestions. All right. I've been teaching for quite a while. Here's what I think you should do. So we got a new vocab list yesterday. All right. Some of you have already turned it in. Great. If not, that is due for tonight. Okay. So you got plenty of time to turn that in. So make sure you do that. What we're going to do today, I'm going to give you some time, about 10 minutes to work, but your 10 minutes doesn't start till I explain to you what I think you should do. So pay attention. Okay, especially if you're trying to do better this semester, because I'm going to tell you exactly what I think you should do starting today. Okay, so I think first of all, when you get a vocab list, I'm going to let you go on Quizlet. You're going to go through and see what cognates you find. All right, somebody want to raise your hand for a quick point and tell me what a cognate is? What's that word mean? What's a cognate? Talk about it in Spanish a lot. What's a cognate? Anybody want to tell me? Nobody knows what a cognate is? How have you gotten this far in Spanish? You don't know what a cognate is?
Isn't a cognate like a word that sounds the same as a word in English?
You got it. Thanks, Roderick. All right. So these are words that look alike in Spanish and English. So like when you go to your vocab list and you see the first word is, I think just your class, right? La Avenida looks a lot like avenue. So you probably guessed some of them. All right. So that's what I'm saying. So first time through, I want you to just flip through the flashcards and see what you recognize. Now, some of them are going to be easy recognizes and some of them you're going to look at and you're going to be like, well, maybe that's, and then you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I was right. Or you're going to be like, no, that's not what that is at all. All right. So that's what I want you to do the first time you go through things. Okay. Cognates. Usually there's a decent amount. I would say like if you have, I think this time there's like 40 some words, I would think at least 10 or 15 you're going to recognize. So once you know that you know them, you come back to them later, but for now you don't have to worry about those. Okay. So first time through cognates, if you print it off your paper, then check off the ones that you recognize. If you're doing it on the computer, then just go through and see what you recognize. Okay. Then you're going to pick 5 words to work on. Okay. It does most people no good to sit there and just flip through 40 cards over and over again. Okay. Usually you remember like nothing, or to sit there and stare at a piece of paper. Most of us, that doesn't work. So you're going to pick 5 words. Okay. I'll show you how to pick them on the computer on Quizlet. But that's what you're going to do. You're going to pick 5 words that you don't know, and you're going to practice those 5 words over and over and over again until you know those words. Okay. So if I give you 10 minutes today, I would expect you can at least learn 5 words. Now, if Spanish is super easy for you, maybe you're going to learn more like 10 words. If Spanish is super hard for you, maybe you're going to learn 3 or 4 words. So it's not like a fixed number, but most people, if I give you 5 or 10 minutes, can learn 5 words. Okay. So that should be your goal. Now let's think about numbers. Usually I quiz you over vocab towards the end of the chapter because I want you to have 2 or 3 weeks to practice. So that means if you learn about 5 words a day, not on the weekends, so 5 days a week, you learn about 20 or 25 words a week. Guess what? In 2 weeks, you'll know all your vocab. That's your goal. Okay. And I guarantee if you do that, this class will be so much easier because think about the listening, you need to know the vocab. The reading, you need to know the vocab. The writing, you need to know the vocab. The speaking, you need to know the vocab. So if you start this now, today, okay, 5 words a day, you will get where you need to go. Your grade will be better. Your life will be easier in this class. I promise you. Okay. So I'm going to show you what I think you should do on Quizlet. So don't go there yet. Just look with me. And then once I'm done talking, I'll still give you your 10 minutes. All right. So look, today in a minute, you're going to go to your current lesson. You're going to click on number 1, which is Quizlet. It's going to look like this, right? So like I said, first time through, you're just going to flip through and see, what do I recognize? Okay. What's a cognate? What's something I can tell for sure? Yeah, that one's easy. So I don't know. I'm kind of not in a cognate area. Let's see. El tráfico. Gosh, I'm going to guess that looks a lot like traffic. Oh, it is. So there's 1 down. All right. Then I'm going to keep going. None of those look familiar. Nah. Oh, la policía. But that's the police. It is. Oops, I mean to click on them. So there's one down. La plaza is a plaza. If you know what that is, it's just like the square in the middle of the city. So there's 3 I found right off the bat, right? Let's see. Let's find you one more. Oh, how about that one? La estatua. Oh, it's a statue. So maybe I had to look at that, but then I confirmed I did know that. All right. So there's like 4 or 5 right there that I recognize those are cognates. Now this one is interesting. I left this one up because here's one, el conductor, a conductor, like a train conductor. You're like, that's weird. But then you're like, oh, it's a driver. So maybe you can make that connection. Like a train conductor drives a train, but this is just any driver. Okay. So maybe that's kind of an easier word. Maybe it's not a cognate, or maybe it is now that we've talked about it, and you'll remember that. So those are the things I want you to focus on. All right. We already said La Avenida. Oh, it's an avenue. So first time through, just go through, see what you recognize. All right. Hopefully that'll take at least 10 or so off of that 49 total. All right. So that's where you're down to about 40. That means about 20 a week. That means 4 or 5 a day. That is much more reasonable, 4 or 5 a day, than 40 the day before the quiz, right? So now what you're going to do, I want you to look at this with me. Give me one more minute of your focus, because I want to explain to you what I think you should do here. Okay, everybody look at my screen. I'm circling this little square thing, okay? This is what I want you to click on. I want you to try this, okay? You're going to click on this. Again, look at it right there, full screen. All right, so this takes you to more options. Now, the first thing I want you to do, I've already done it here, so I'm going to undo it and then go back. So when you come to this, it's going to give you the word in English. That's hard because it's easier at least to recognize them. So the first thing I want you to do is go to options. Okay, down here, lower left-hand corner, and you're going to make these so that they give you the answer in English. And then that's at least the first step, because those are easier to identify, at least if they give you the Spanish first. Okay. Next up, you're going to pick your 5 words. So here's what you do. You go through and you go to the upper right-hand corner and see how there's a little star. I already started that from last period. So it's going to look like this. I want you to pick 5 words to work on. Anything that's hard for you. So I'm going to pick, oh, that's hard for me. And see, these are already done because I did them last period. Sorry. That's 2, that's 3, that's 4. I don't know. I probably already have 1. That's 5. Okay. So I've starred 5 words that I don't know. Now look where I'm going. I'm going to go down here to options. I'm going to click on starred. And now it's only going to give me the ones I've starred. Now I've actually starred 10 because I did probably 5 last period as well. So you would have 5, and you're just going to go through them over and over again until you know your 5. Okay, practice them, go through them. You can shuffle them. Look right here. There's a shuffle button, and do them again. Okay, I want you to take as long as it takes. Again, if this is easy for you, maybe it won't take that long. If it's harder for you, use your whole time to learn 5 words. Another option you have is, look, you can put on the audio right here under options. So it'll say it for you.
El camión.
Look at that.
Truck. El camión. La calle. El cruce de calles.
Okay, if you're
La
having
cuadra.
a hard time with pronunciation, you can always turn on that audio under options. Okay, it's right there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my audio back off. Now, say I've learned my starred words. I can go back to all and I can star some more. So if I know my 5, then I'm going to star a few more. Okay. Click on whichever ones you want to add in, then go back to options, then click on starred, and then you can work on those 10. Okay. So now I have 10. So I need to go through, make sure I know those 10, and then each day add another 5 until you know all of them. Okay. It's all about doing 5 at a time, then making sure you remember your last 5 plus that 5 and practice those, and then slowly add them in. All right. So your main buttons here are options, and then you can shuffle it, and then you click on this star right here. All right, I'm going to go back and remind you how I got to all of this was through this weird little, I wish it was more obvious, but down here, it's this little button that says full screen, and it's this little square. All right, so that is my suggestion. Take it or leave it, but I am the teacher who's done this a few times. All right, and that's the way I would try and learn them. I'm not a great memorizer. Okay. So I had to come up with things that worked for me. I used to make people make flashcards, but now we've got them on Quizlet, so we don't have to make them. Okay, so that is what I suggest. Start it right now. I'm going to give you little pockets of time in class, and then some nights for homework, I'll be like, just work on Quizlet. That's what I want you to do. Practice your words, add 5 more. All right. So I'm going to put 10 minutes on my clock. I want you to go to your current lesson. I want you to click on the link for Quizlet. If you've never done Quizlet before, it might ask you to put in, like, to sign up. It's free. Just make up a little username and password. You can join my class if you want to. And I want you to go through them. Like I said, first time, just look for cognates. And then second time, pick 5 words. I would star them like I did, but obviously you do you. Any questions? Does that make sense? Okay, so I am once again going to use my phone here to give you 10 minutes starting right now. I'm going to mute myself. You can have your camera on or off for this. I don't mind, but I want you to make sure you're doing this. Don't go to sleep. Don't go go watch TV. Actually do this for 10 minutes and see if you can't challenge yourself to learn at least 5 new words. Okay. All right. Muting myself and starting your time. Ready, set, go. Quizlet, Quizlet, Quizlet. And how much easier things are. 5 words a day, 5 words a day, 5 words a day. Okay. Now, again, maybe you go a little quicker and you don't have to do them every day. Maybe you can do 5 words every other day. I don't know. You have to figure out what works for you, but that's the technique that I suggest. Okay. All right. So we're going to let the vocab kind of rest for a minute here. And we are going to review our notes from yesterday on direct object pronouns. I want to do one last little check in on those, make sure you're good to go. And then we'll call it a day. Okay. So I need you to find your notes from yesterday on direct object pronouns. I either you printed them or you put them in a folder somewhere. I tried to get you to make like a Spanish folder. I did put them under class resources. So if you want to click on my homepage, you can also find them there. So I will pull them up real quick and let's just do a quick review. And then I'm going to give you 5 questions to practice kind of as an exit ticket. All right, so get your focus here real quick. I will be looking for some volunteers to answer my questions. So if you want to volunteer, please raise your hand or your blue hand and let's get a few participation points, do a quick review. All right, everybody's focused. Everybody's paying attention. Got your camera on if you can, please. So I know you're there because I'm looking at you. I'm not actually looking at that screen. I'm looking at you. Thank you. Okay, get your camera on if you can. All right, so direct objects is what we were talking about yesterday. Quick refresh. Basically, we were saying direct objects tell who or what, right? I eat pizza. What do you eat? Pizza. I put on clothes. What do you put on? Clothes. I call my mom. Who do you call? Mom. All right, so that's the direct object. It says that here under your notes under the first part there. Then we said sometimes it's repetitive to say, I eat pizza. Do you eat pizza? Yes, I eat pizza. Or you might just say, yes, I eat it, right? Do you love cheeseburgers? Yes, I love them. Okay. So we're thinking about words like it and them. Would someone please raise your hand here and tell me what are your 2 choices for the word it? What are your 2 choices in Spanish for the word it? You are looking at your notes. I have them screen shared or you're looking at them. It is in yellow. I should have lots of hands up here. What are your 2 options here? All right, Roderick, what are they?
Is it lo and la?
Yeah. Okay, right here, if you're looking at my screen, lo and la, go for it. Now, lo can also mean him and la can also mean her. But they definitely mean it. All right, so somebody else, easy follow-up question. What are my 2 choices for them? What are my 2 choices for them, Callie?
Los and las.
Los and las, good. What's the difference? Well, you got to see if the them is feminine, pick las. If the them is masculine, pick los. Okay, that's what you have to look at. All right, I got 3 more that go with people. We already said lo is him and la is her. What are my 3 other ones that go with people? What are my 3 other ones? Riley, are you unmuted because you want to answer? I'm not sure. Or are you just accidentally unmuted? Nope. Must have been an accident. All right. I got one person with me. Where's everybody else?
Are they the Mete and Nos?
Yes. Thank you, Carter. They are May, Tay, and Nos right here in green. Okay. If you're following along. So May, Tay, and Nos. All right. Next up, I'm literally just going through this. When you have one verb, you have one option. Where does the direct object pronoun go? Reginald?
Before the verb.
Before the verb. That's the biggest thing to remember, okay? Because in English, it goes after, right? In English, you say, I eat it. In Spanish, you say, it, I eat. Okay, so it's got to go before the verb. And then if I have two verbs, you'll notice in pink, it talks about having two options. Either you put that little word before the first verb, or what's my second option? Somebody I haven't heard from today or yesterday. What's my second option? What's my second option? It's right there in pink. Read it. Get your hand up or I'll call on you anyway. All right. Let's see. How about Quentin?
Before or after?
Say it again. What?
Before or after?
So it goes after if it goes after, you have to attach it. Read what it says right here in pink, Quentin. Attach it to
The end of the second verb.
perfect. Okay. So it either goes before the first or attached to the second. Great. That's what you need to know. Okay. These are your choices. One verb, one option, two verbs, two options. All right. Let me tell you what I want you to finish up with today. It's basically like an exit ticket. I'm going to go ahead and just show it to you. So why don't we look at real quick together and then I'll let you go take care of it. All right. So where did it go? Where did it go? Here it is. All right. Getting there, promise. Okay, so it's just under my current lesson. It's this third one, direct object pronouns. So you're going to click on that practice. It says it's a quiz. It's not really a quiz. It's just how I have to set these up so that, they're in this format. So let's look at number one together. You can be looking at it with me or you can pull it up on your own. I want it. So I have to tell you the it is el perro. It's a dog. I have to tell you that because you have to know if it's masculine or feminine. So because it's masculine, you have two choices for it. Pick the one that is masculine. And because I have one verb, you're not going to say, I want it. The order in Spanish is going to be it, I want. So make sure that little word it goes right before your verb and pick the right answer. Okay. 2 is very similar. 3 has two verbs. So make sure your them goes before the first or attached to the second. And then 3 and 4, you're just back to normal. Okay. Just one verb. So I would like you to use those and use your notes if you need to and finish that up. That is your exit ticket. So I want you to do that like right now. I'm pretty sure I gave you a couple attempts. So if you don't get a 5 out of 5 the first time, go back and try whatever you missed a second time. Homework for tonight is that vocab. So make sure if you did not already turn in your vocab that you have that in by midnight tonight, please. And that's it. Nearpod if you didn't do that on Monday. Okay, I'm going to start getting some grades in. So make sure you're getting this done. Vocab list, Nearpod. All right. If you know what you're doing, hasta mañana. If you don't know what you're doing, stick around. Have a good rest of your day.